News Talk 1310 KFKA.
You've only got a couple of hours left. If you're going to pull a party out of your ass, you might want to stand up.
Hello. Thank you for listening to the New World Order Report with the Conspiracy Keepers. My name should not matter. What should matter is that the information presented here be given to everyone you know. We hope that you, the listener, explore the possibility that we are in fact being controlled by forces well outside the circle of decency and morals. A circle that is just part of the many symbols used every day to keep you in fear, in the dark, and uninformed. Our topic today, and every day, is the New World Order agenda. How do you know which societies are working with the New World Order and which ones are not? Find out now. Here come the Conspiracy Keepers.
Welcome back to a third and final hour. A very special treat. Voice is strong, very relaxed. Everybody's good to go. We're going to spend a little more time tonight with Joe Lanier. We're going to get through On This Day in Illuminati history, but I would be remiss if I did not recap from Hour 1 and Hour 2, which when I get off the air, the show will get down. I have to process it, download it, upload it, then put it on YouTube, then share it.
Right.
I think I got that right, Joe. I mean, I am getting them up, right? You're seeing them.
I think you did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, normally we don't take calls.
Okay.
And I feel remiss, and hopefully in the bottom of the hour, Josh, if you're still out there, I would love for you to check back in with us.
Okay.
Because we'll let Joe go by then.
Yeah, okay.
But,
okay.
Joe, with taking the call, it also took up a segment of time of one of the issues you did want to cover.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to make sure we get through that. Plus, I want you to tease a little bit. September's almost over. What we've got coming up in October. Our October surprise, of course, includes free T-shirts every night. But the information that we're going to be sharing, if you want to tease that. But again, back to, because we got sidetracked, what else did you want to spend time talking about tonight?
Well, one thing I want to touch on that we didn't quite get to is actually the news report that came through while we were on the air that everybody heard was in the earthquake victims. They're talking about the children have been trapped, and they're going, well, you know what, maybe this didn't even happen at all. And we even talked about that off the air. It's like, you're saying, Joe, did you hear that? I'm going, yeah, I heard that. It's just like, even the mainstream media is like saying, you know what? We probably lied to you. There probably are no children trapped at all. You know, so I wanted to talk about that as well, as how we're being lied to every day by CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS. They're all the same. They're all in the same game. You know, they have crisis actors and these fake interviews and these fake situations, and people just eat it up like it's true.
Now,
and people just sit in front of their TV and say, oh, wow, this is amazing, and don't realize what they're watching is crap.
For those who are listening, today is September 21st, 2017. The audio that Joe is referring to ran in the 10 o'clock hour and the 11 o'clock hour, top of the hour, 2-minute ABC News clip. Because Joe and I are, by definition, in the same age demographic.
Right.
Okay. Growing up, knowing of the Woodwards and Bernsteins, growing up knowing the Sam Donaldsons, etc. If one reporter out there took that 12-second snippet and actually did a legitimate investigative story on it, I guarantee you'd win a Pulitzer Prize.
Right.
But is anybody going to touch it? And Joe, the news cycle is so fast. I'm not slamming ABC, But it's 2 minutes. What can the brain really absorb in 2 minutes other than be afraid? We're working on it. Trust us.
Right.
Trust us more. We'll get back to you.
Well, keep in mind, everybody that watches the news, and I see people in front of the news all the time, and I watch it for a completely different reason. I watch it because I'm thinking they're full of crap, and what can I learn from this I can share with everybody else and tell you they're full of crap. Most people don't look at it that way. They look at it as, oh, I'm being informed. Oh, what's Donald Trump doing today? Oh, what's Congress doing today? What's going on with North Korea? What's going on with the hurricanes? They take it as gospel, and their perception of reality is so distorted because they don't understand that the news is not news. It's there to keep you involved and keep you in fear. And the more in fear you are, the more you're likely to come back and being exposed to more advertising. This is all a big play, even though I talked about this earlier. Even Jesse Ventura, the governor of Minnesota, at one time says the news is the world is run like professional wrestling. It's all a script. It's all a lie. Donald Trump is following a script. Hillary Clinton follows a script. This is not real. You guys are falling for an act. You're like watching a soap opera.
Joe, you've kind of painted yourself up into the corner deck here for a second because...
Okay, all right.
No, because I'm going to ask a legitimate question.
Okay, all right.
I'm going to Google the video. My memory serves. It was Alex Jones, Willie Nelson, and Jesse Ventura, and I believe it was on Willie Nelson's tour bus in the conversation you're discussing.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to Google this while you answer it.
Okay.
I'm going to double check because here's my question to it.
Okay.
Again, and we've taken a lot of heat for it, but Alex Jones is taking a lot of heat from a lot of his loyal listeners who are suggesting that Alex is, you're not on core right now and you're not paying attention and you're going in a different direction and what's really, really going on here because something's up and you're saying one thing and again, actions speak louder than words.
Right.
But as you pointed out, there is, again, a overwhelming stack of evidence that suggests that Alex Jones who he's paid by, we don't know.
He's controlled opposition.
Yes, he's certainly controlled, whether it's blackmail, whether it's holding the kids hostage, whether he's been patched. I'm not saying there's money trading. I'm not going down that path. I'm suggesting, again, I'm not saying funded opposition. I'm saying controlled opposition.
Okay, I'll buy that.
And you said that.
Yeah.
So, having said that, was that, because as I Google this, because I can't type and talk at the same time.
Okay, all right.
But in the setup of that video, was that video unto itself a disinfo video based upon what we know that, yes, 85% is truth and 15% is disinfo, and here it is in your face, even though it's not?
Yeah. And that's what's really difficult for people to discern, is because controlled opposition is not 100% lies. 100% lies are easy to discern. Now, if you have somebody comes out and they will say 50% lies, that's kind of hard to figure out because you don't know what to believe or what not to believe. But the Illuminati are so clever because they will put in front of you somebody like Alex Jones or even Jesse Ventura who will give you 85 or 90% lies. 90% truth and only 10% lies. So now it's very difficult for us to tell the truth. So when Jesse Ventura says, okay, the government is run like professional wrestling, you know what? He's telling the truth right now. It is.
It is
But what else? But what else is he going to say that's not true that you're going to buy into as well? Same thing with Alex Jones.
It is a 4-part interview. It is Willie Nelson and Jesse Ventura, the lost interviews. I have shared up on social media interview segment 1. If you wish to watch the rest of them, go ahead.
Yeah.
All right, Joe, we're at the quarter break. Let's just stay by the numbers. We're going to come right back with On This Day, and we're going to wrap up the Conspiracy Keepers headlines 9/22/17. What's coming up on the radar? We'll find out with Joe Lanier when we come back.
I'm gonna wake up, yes and no. I'm gonna kiss some part of.
Are you listening to the Scooter McGee Show? Well, misery does love company. Stay tuned to News Talk 1310 KFKA.
Did you know that 1 in 4 people are affected by anxiety, depression, or other mental illness? Many others and their families also suffer from addiction. That means that you or someone you love may be searching for help. North Range Behavioral Health serves children, adults, and families, and our crisis services at 928 12th Street in Greeley are open 24/7. In Northern Weld County, call 970-347-2120. If you're in Southern Weld, call 303-857-2723. Contact us. We're all in this together.
It's football season, and that means the Ernest Collins Jr. Show airs Tuesday nights at 6:05 on 1310 KFKA, live from Stuffed Burger Bar on the 9th Street Plaza in downtown Greeley. Join the head coach and me each Tuesday evening as we discuss Bears football. Your questions and comments are welcome on Twitter at UNC Bears Radio, #AskTheCoach. Find me on Facebook at Troy.Coverdale. Or join Ernest and me at Stuffed Burger Bar in Greeley Tuesdays at 6:05. The Ernest Collins Jr. Show on 1310 KFKA.
Matt Rivette started in real estate just in time for the bottom to fall out of the market. And it turns out it was a good time to start. From day one, Matt Rivette had to do it right. Serve the client. Turn for sale into sold. 32 years later, we know market conditions will change, but Matt Rivette's commitment to you won't. This is a good time to get to know Matt Rivette at Pro Realty. List your commercial, income, or residential property with Matt Rivette. Call Matt Rivette at 970-356-1234 or go to ProRealtyHomes.com.
So you think the Pawn Stars are in Vegas, huh? Have you been to City National Pawn? 3301 West 10th Street in Greeley, and you're the Pawn Star. With great deals on commercial and industrial tools, electronics, smartphones, laptops, and fine jewelry. So many great deals and a constantly changing inventory guarantee you get the best deal in town at City National Pawn. Need quick cash fast? City National Pawn has got you covered there too. Monday through Friday and Saturdays, remember, you're the Pawn Star at City National Pawn, 3301 West 10th Street in Greeley.
The Nerd Store is now buying and selling used video games. The Nerd Store buys games for consoles and handhelds for Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, and Sega at incredibly competitive buy prices. Sell your games for cash or trade them in for Nerd Store credit that you can use towards comics, board games, or other video games. Their buy prices are great, which means their video game selection is growing rapidly. The Nerd Store also sells consoles and accessories. The Nerd Store, 807 8th Street in downtown Greeley.
Have you noticed that folks who listen to Tidbits Radio are better looking and more intelligent? Since you too are so good looking and so very intelligent, you should be listening in every Sunday from 11 a.m. until noon right here on 1310 KFKA. Tidbits Radio is fun, it's informative, and it's enriching. Your looks will improve and your IQ will soar when you join us every Sunday morning at 11 a.m. on 1310 KFKA for the happiest little radio show on the air, Tidbits Radio.
Admit it. You've got several. From killer concerts, the Grand Canyon, Vegas, and memories live in them. Create a treasure to remember with Windmill Productions. Years from now, you'll still be thanking Trevor and Kim for the attention to detail and quality that make the memories last a lifetime. Located at 813 East 18th Street, Windmill Productions on Facebook, Windmill Productions 914, or windmillprographics.com. Or give them a call, 970-702-2636.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
I'm sorry, that'll be a make good. I totally effed that up. Good evening, Gotham. Metropolis, Emerald City, Xanadu, Babylon, to the ISS and the rest of you. Again, the big weekend coming up. So, again, dove season. Tomorrow morning, get out of my way. I plan on bagging one more limit. Saturday, I haven't figured out how I'm going to do it yet, but yes, let me give one actual legitimate live read of where I'm going to be on Saturday. Okay. I said I promised I would be good. Oh, when I get a hold of Damon. Anyway, I'd like to see all of you. I mean it. All of you. I don't know how to do this. And you know what? I'm just going to do it. And Windmill's going to get pissed. And it's going to be what it is. I'll pay for it. Oh, man. I really don't want to. I really want to go home and get drunk. And we don't call Scooter and we don't text him during the show when he's actually looking at his text messages with guests on the other line on hold, actually, who've been on way too long. I want to see all of you in LaPorte on Saturday for the big pig roast. It starts at 4 o'clock. You can't miss it. There'll be a big black Mustang outside, and there'll be a drunken maniac in multiple colored Hawaiian shirts throughout the day. Whoever gets the best selfie of me in the best pose with the most likes, wants, shares, pissed offs, whatever, is going to win a free sweatshirt. Okay? Meanwhile, I want to get back to Joe Lanier. Welcome back, Joe.
Thank you, Scooter. Thank you.
So, with the time we do have, let's get to the headlines. They are marked. Okay. They are marked from the past. And as we've talked, they mark in plain sight. So, chime in, if you will, if you spot one. Here are our headlines for tomorrow, 9/22. Back in time we go, and we start 1789. It is then the U.S. Congress authorizing the office of the Postmaster General. 3 years later, 1792, the French Republic is now proclaimed. 1862, U.S. President Abraham Lincoln issuing the preliminary Emancipation Proclamation, stating that all slaves would be held within rebel states and be free as of January 1st, 1963. Joe, on this day, 1914, 9/22, 3 British cruisers are sunk by 1 German submarine in the North Sea. 1,400 British are killed, British sailors. This event is what allegedly alerts the British to the effectiveness of the submarine.
Allegedly.
That's what I said. Thank you. 1949, the Soviet Union now exploding its first atomic bomb. And the word successfully being announced to the world. Do we know if that was in advance? No, yes, no, maybe, I don't know. 1961, Joe, President John Fitzgerald Kennedy signs the Congressional Act establishing the Peace Corps. Good, bad, yes, no. We can talk about that in a second. 1966, the U.S. Lunar Probe Surveyor 2 now crashing into the moon. The Soviets, they sent one up a day and sent it back. We spent how many thousands of dollars for the pens? The Soviets just used pencils. True story. On this day, 1992, the UN General Assembly now expelling Yugoslavia for its role in the war between Bosnia and Herzegovina. 94, the U.S. now military upgrading its military control in Haiti. 98. Then President, our first black president, Joe, you should be so proud. U.S. President William Jefferson Clinton addressing the United Nations, telling the world leaders to, quote, end all nuclear tests for all time. He then sent the long-delayed Global Test Ban Treaty to the United States Senate. And that is the headlines from the past for On This Day in Illuminati History. You have 4 minutes left to the bottom, and then I'm cutting you loose.
Okay.
Thoughts on those headlines?
Well, hopefully what people will get from our show is there are no coincidences. Everything happens for a reason, and somebody has created it for a reason. Even FDR said, and by the way, FDR was an Illuminati himself. He said, if it happens in politics, you can bet it was created that way.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Was he not also a 33rd degree Mason? I can Google.
Yeah.
I just don't want to type and talk.
He absolutely was. But the thing is, a lot of these Masons, Freemasons, and Illuminati, they'll tell you the truth a lot of the time. They'll tell you what they're up to, and they expect you to latch on to it. And if you don't, they think, okay, then we're just going to keep doing it again.
Well, because you're back to your comment that because you did nothing and you said nothing, you gave permission through acquiescence of silence by merely doing nothing.
Absolutely. So a good liar will tell you the truth 50% of the time. A great liar will tell you the truth 10% of the time. And, he'll tell you the truth 90% of the time, and only 10% of the time he will tell you a lie. So if you're not really up on this, if somebody tells you the truth 90% of the time, you're going to think, well, everything they said must be true. It's like, no. They will tell you a lot of truth most of the time, like Alex Jones. He's one of them. Most Masons will do that. Freemasons will do that. So it's kind of like the concept of rat poison. Rat poison is 90% good corn and only 10% poison. Okay? So the 10% poison will kill you, even though they tell you the truth 90% of the time. So that's who these people are. So that's what most people are very confused about figuring out.
But Joe, say, even now, thanks to our good friends
told us this, that's true. So everything must be true. It's like, no, that's not how these people work.
Joe,
you've got to think.
Even our good friends at Monsanto and the patents prove it. They've made the chemicals that are poisonous highly addictive for us humans, so we consume more of it.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly right. So I think that people who aren't out there looking for the truth, and they just sit there and passively look at the news and look at whatever, and they see these things and say, well, yeah, this happened, that happened, everything must be true.
Guys,
just
we're going 2 minutes long because I have a question for Joe.
Just because a hurricane hit Florida, a hurricane hit Puerto Rico, and that's true, that doesn't mean that's a natural occurrence. These are created events, and they're created for a purpose.
Now,
so don't believe this is part of global warming. This is a natural event. This is not a coincidence.
NASA's got us all looking in one direction in the future and in history and past of the sun and the stars. I want to go to Giza. Have you seen the photographs that have come out of the latest discoveries of the ancient rooms that were recently discovered under the sonar that they've released photos of?
Yes, I have seen that, yeah.
Can you explain the individual sitting there Indian style amongst the entire, Indian style, I'm going to say, because that's how, you sit with your legs crossed sitting on the ground.
Right.
Do you see him there holding in his hand the device, what appears to be a smartphone?
I know. I have seen that. I absolutely have seen that. Well, that just goes to show you what we were talking about earlier. Not only does the military have 40 years in advance, they probably have way more than that. Way more than that. We think it's 40 years. It's probably way more than that. So, yeah, I have seen that. And I believe that's a legitimate photo. I don't believe that's Photoshop. I think they do have that technology technology way back before they told us about it.
Again, I think because the mural was so big and so distracting that no one will notice. And again, upon first glance, I didn't. It had to be. Look, it's holy. My God, it's there.
I know.
All right.
So yeah, I mean, so hopefully for these shows that we do, hopefully what we talk about.
Where are we up with Cynthia Schneider? We got to cut you loose. It's bottom of the hour. We're pushing along.
Okay.
So where are we at with Cynthia Schneider? Are we getting her on next week? Or are we going to get her when we up here live in studio? What do you want to do?
I want to get her live in studio, but if we can't, I want to get her on the phone no matter what, because she is the one that blew the whistle on Phil Schneider and the tunnels under DIA. They're the ones that called me in on the History Channel, on the Travel Channel. That's where I got all my information from, and they have cut the information on her out that I gave them about her. So I want her to talk about this on your show, which these big conglomerates did not want me to talk about. So we've got to get her on your show. I've emailed her, just waiting for a response to me right now.
All right. In theory, post whatever. Do the Broncos play Sunday? I don't know. I'm sorry. Don't get mad.
I'm not sure because I'm a Vikings fan. Not sure about the Broncos.
No, we're not Vikings fans. I mean, we suffer Stockholm Syndrome from the Minnesota Vikings.
Exactly. Okay, there you go. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Yeah, 1-1. It only gets worse. Sorry.
I know.
Hey, at least, hey, we're 50%. Yeah. Well, come talk to us in 3 months.
Okay.
Anyway, so yes, let's talk Sunday evening after football, and we'll figure out next Thursday.
Let's do that. I'll look forward to that.
And we'll get backlash, in theory, if he's got a wedding or whatever. I mean, it'll be over, and Mrs. LaRue will let him talk.
Hopefully. Okay.
All right. And if I sneak down to Denver, I will obviously give you a buzz.
Let's do it.
All right. Gotham, a very quick bottom of the hour break, and we'll be back to wrap up or start, I guess, Scooter McGee show.
Become a friend of Scooter McGee or like the Scooter McGee show page. More of the Scooter McGee show in a moment. 1310 KFKA's First Alert Weather, powered by Denver 7.
Breezy and mild tonight, low in the low to mid-50s. For the first day of autumn, more like summer. Tomorrow, windy and warm with highs low to mid-80s. Cooler Saturday, some showers develop with upper 60s. With your First Alert forecast, I'm Denver 7 Chief Meteorologist Mike Nelson, 1310 KFKA. This weather update is brought to you by CRP 4x4, located at the corner of 9th Street and 21st Avenue in Greeley. Call them at 970-351-8603.
Doesn't it seem strange that the heat of summer is hardest on your car battery? And isn't it just plain silly that it'll probably keep starting your car just fine for a while, and then one cold morning, like the ones we'll soon have, nothing. Maybe a groan or some clicking. Auto Tailor in Greeley can help prevent that unhappy moment. This fall, as part of your preventive maintenance service, Auto Tailor will test the battery, saving you from that highly inconvenient moment we just talked about. Ensure your car is ready for winter. Visit Auto Tailor in Greeley at 10th Avenue and 16th Street.
It's time to separate the contenders from the pretenders in Preps Radio this week. Thursday at 6, number 6 Loveland goes into Fort Collins to face a Lambkins team that's trying to make some noise of its own in the 4A classification. Friday night, all the football action gets underway at 5, with football night in Northern Colorado leading up to the game of the week, which features the Eaton Reds and the Sterling Tigers in what could have huge implications in both teams' divisions. Don't forget, Saturday morning, Preps Rewind wraps up the week in sports at 10 a.m. on 1310 KFKA.
What may be junk to you just might be another man's treasure. From stamps, sports memorabilia, silverware, or old jewelry, what may be junk to you just might be another man's treasures. Located at 2002 9th Street in Greeley, Another Man's Treasures can take these old items and convert them into cold, hard cash. Located at 2002 9th Street, remember Another Man's Treasure.
Matt Rivette started in real estate just in time for the bottom to fall out of the market, and it turns out it was a good time to start. From day one, Matt Rivette had to do it right. Serve the client. Turn for sale into sold. 32 years later, we know market conditions will change, but Matt Rivette's commitment to you won't. This is a good time to get to know Matt Rivette at Pro Realty. List your commercial, income, or residential property with Matt Rivette. Call Matt Rivette at 970-356-1234 or go to ProRealtyHomes.com.
So you think the Pawn Stars are in Vegas, huh? Have you been to City National Pawn? 3301 West 10th Street in Greeley, and you're the Pawn Star. With great deals on commercial and industrial tools, electronics, smartphones, laptops, and fine jewelry. So many great deals and a constantly changing inventory guarantee you get the best deal in town at City National Pawn. Need quick cash fast? City National Pawn has got you covered there too. Monday through Friday and Saturdays. Remember, you're the Pawn Star at City National Pawn, 3301 West 10th Street in Greeley.
You got a favorite t-shirt, right? Come on, admit it. You've got several. From killer concerts, the Grand Canyon, Vegas, and memories live in them. Create a treasure to remember with Windmill Productions. Years from now, you'll still be thanking Trevor and Kim for the attention to detail and quality that make the memories last a lifetime. Located at 813 East 18th Street, Windmill Productions on Facebook, Windmill Productions 914, or windmillprographics.com. Or give them a call, 970-702-2636.
Breaking down the news 31 hours a day. Become one of the Scooter McGee Show minions. Head to scootermcgee.com and sign up for free newsletters. Join the chat room, show podcasts, bonus episodes in real time outside of the box news. The Scooter McGee Show on News Talk 1310 KFKA.
The following program is intended for mature audiences.
All right, kids, sit back, get comfy cozy. It's time for Shallow Moments with Scooter McGee.
Okay, good evening, Gotham, Metropolis, Emerald City, Xanadu, Babylon, to the ISS, and the rest of you. Actually, in the original script, there were 3 cardboard rings on a whiteboard. Actually, this is where this segment belongs. Swear to God. 11:30, wrap up. How the hell it became the monologue, I don't know. Well, depending upon which climatologist and which worthless rag you're reading, from the Los Angeles Times to the Miami Herald to the Chicago. Yeah, I know. Of course, celestially, numerologically, the last day of summer. California now hit by, quote, unusual snow and hailstorms. Now, I don't throw Mike Nelson, Dave Frazier, Greg Dutra, who else do I? There's Matt Makins. What's her toes? Oh, is she gonna be pissed when no? What's her toes? It's Kathy saving you, man. I know, Kathy. I'm sorry. I didn't mean what's your toes. Go get yourself a new pair of shoes and bill them to me. Sorry. Snow falling in the Sierra Nevadas on the last day of summer. Okay. We could use another winter in the Sierra Nevadas like we had last. Flooding not the issue. The wildfires of the Rocky Mountains through the Pacific Northwest, those that have not been hit in Wyoming and Montana, for example, snow put those fires out like... I mean, put them out like your mom walking in the room when you were a teenager. Gone. Amazing Mother Nature. And so consider, after listening tonight, and consider Googling geoengineering. weather modification, chemtrails, over 175 U.S. patents alone, dating 100 years, 1917 to 2017. They want to say a smartphone destroyed a generation? Keeping you in fear, uninformed, and in the dark. It seems about the only good thing the lamestream, shamestream media at this point that's being funded by everything from the Rockefellers, the Carnegies, the Vanderbilts, etc., through our good friends at Raytheon and the independent institutes and, you know, the propped up car dealerships, let alone the financial markets, let alone our sweet deals we've got with Congress and the pharmaceutical industry. I hate to point out all the military presence at your weekend professional sporting events, but that's on your taxpayer dollar. So when I say taxation is theft, I point out, A, conditioning you military presence, and B, again, don't admit I'm right, but you can't admit I'm wrong anymore. Your tax money is being stolen from you. Oh, speaking of live and local, you mean you want to add more tax money to the roads that we've already been paying for that you siphoned off? Are you guys out of your minds?
You've just heard Shallow Moments with Scooter McGee. Thank God that's over with.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Yeah, I saw it. We'll elaborate next week when we have more time. The Center for Disease Control over the weekend says that mosquitoes carrying deadly diseases could invade 75% of America. And yet, direct your attention, Bill Gates releases mosquitoes in theater. Google that video. I find this story incredibly interesting, and perhaps you will. You can share it with your friends on social media, as it's over at 1310kfk.com. Center for Disease Control. The story coming off The Independent. Mosquitoes capable of spreading serious and potentially deadly diseases such as Zika. I've always known it pronounced as Dungy fever, as well as yellow fever, could invade approximately 3/4 of the mainland of the United States. Now, it's supposed to say CDC and P, Center for Disease Control and Prevention, but they still call it CDC. I mean, at least they do in the UK. Can I just have just one biscuit over the little table? So, Kipper's out of the question then. Asshole. Center for Disease Control, a federal agency, previously warning that Again, climate change could affect human health.
You're a lying sack of crap. You're a lying sack of crap. You're a lying, steaming, stinking, nasty sack of liquid crap.
In which the CDC said, in many ways, including increasing the number of disease carriers such as mosquitoes and ticks. The paper now published. No wonder I don't get laid. I just realized that. What are you doing? The typical comment is nothing, and it's printed off. Work hates me because I spend all night printing off hundreds of pages of documents. But this was the paper published in the Journal of Medical Entomology. Okay, high school dropout. What the are you doing reading this? Well, again, this is research. Should at least pretend that I know what I'm talking about. It reveals a map showing the area, quote, where habitat is suitable for, in particular, two particular species of mosquitoes, two of them, across the entire United States. All the way from Washington down through Oregon. Okay? Nevada, California, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, South Carolina, North Carolina. Stretching all the way up right through New York City, cutting all the way back in what used to be the flyovers, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Arkansas, Illinois, Missouri, Kansas, even portions of Colorado. Nobody seems to be discussing this story. No, let them loose. Let them breed. Let them have fun for a while. Then we'll report on that. What the flying is wrong with you people?
West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is old.
You should have played this yesterday instead of everything I went through. Had I just spent with Joe Pesci with my head in a vice, you could have played this. Oh, I'm sorry. Devastated, of course, by the recent hurricane. Gourmet Jack's Kosher Bait Shop is back and open on ship-to-shore delivery, 970-356-WORM. Again, that number, 970-356-WORM. I didn't realize this was Jack's favorite song. No wonder everybody thinks he's nuts.
Listening to the Scooter McGee Show. Well, misery does love company. Stay tuned to News Talk 1310 KFKA.
The Nerd Store is now buying and selling used video games. The Nerd Store buys games for consoles and handhelds for Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, and Sega at incredibly competitive buy prices. Sell your games for cash or trade them in for Nerd Store credit that you can use towards comics, board games, or other video games. Their buy prices are great, which means their video game selection is growing rapidly. The Nerd Store also sells consoles and accessories. The Nerd Store, 807 8th Street in downtown Greeley.
When marketing your business or event, you really need something that screams,
"Look at me, remember me, come back to me!"
With Signs First Main Street Promotions, I assure you, you'll have just that. Did you know promotional products have the highest advertising recall over television, print, and online advertising? 73% of people use a promotional product